welcome to another school year, and we are definitely here to support you. And our information can be found on this slide, so please email me if you have any questions regarding things along the lines that anything that I can do to help you. All right.
And Cash, do we want to show this video now?
Yes, if you have the ability to share yes, if we can hear the audio through it, that would be great.
Hello, ALA Fox Tech students and families. It's Ms. Beezer here, and it's my honor and privilege to welcome you back to school in just a few days. We've been busy preparing over the last few weeks, and really Monday is what it's all about when we get to kick off the start of a new school year. This year is going to look different, and we are going to continue to be innovative and adaptable and make it through the year as we always do by leaning on each other and taking care of each other. So welcome back, and I can't wait to see everybody on Monday, and especially at our opening ceremony. So be sure to look for an invite that I sent out earlier regarding our opening ceremony on Monday, August 17th at 3:30 p.m. See you soon. Go Alligators.
Welcome back, ALA Gators. I would like to extend a special welcome to all of our new families joining us this school year. My name is Fabiola Rivera, and I am the Associate Principal. Bienvenido de nuevo, ALA Gators. Me gustaría dar una bienvenida especial a todas nuestras nuevas familias que se unen a nosotros este año escolar. Bienvenidos a nuestra familia. Mi nombre es Fabiola Rivera y yo soy la Associate Principal aquí en ALA Fox Tech.
Hello, ALA students and families. My name is Stephanie Cash, and I will be an Assistant Principal this year at our Fox Tech campus. We are looking forward to a wonderful year of learning. See you soon.
Hello, ALA families. My name is Eddie Rios, and I'm one of your assistant principals here at the ALA Fox Tech campus. I miss you all so much, and I can't wait to see you all soon. See you Monday morning.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. Esparza. I'm the campus testing coordinator. I want to welcome you back. I hope you had a wonderful summer. I can't wait to meet you and start working with you. Hope to see you soon.
Hello, ALA families. My name is Ms. Garcia, and I am your Family and Community Engagement Specialist for this school year. I am a great resource for a few questions that you might have, including events or Zooms that are going on at school. If you're missing a link or you need a password to any of those Zooms, you can definitely contact me and I can help you get the information that you need. I am also the person that you can reach out to for a PTSA. We are really hoping to use the PTSA to get parents to connect with each other. We know that it might be a little bit isolating during these social distancing times, and we want to make sure that you have that community feeling, especially with your families at ALA. I am also the contact for any volunteer opportunities that you might be interested in at ALA. So unfortunately, we will not be having in-person volunteering as of right now, but there are plenty of virtual opportunities that you are welcome to be a part of. They're very exciting, including tutoring and mentoring. Additionally, if you need any resources for uniforms or school supplies, you can reach out to me. If you find yourself in the middle of the year, you're missing a journal or you need extra paper, I can definitely help get those supplies to you and your student. If you have any technology concerns, let's say that your Chromebook stops working, you need to switch it out and schedule a time to come to campus to pick up a new one, then you can definitely email me. And if you need extra assistance with internet access, if the internet's running slow because you have multiple students on your home Wi-Fi, and it would be easier if a student had their own hotspot so that way they could do their work on Canvas or Zoom, I can definitely help you get those things as well. And the SASD has a great Family Power Hour series. Right now they are operating they're having tutorials for Canvas. So this is a new area that we are all exploring and learning together. And it might be a little bit intimidating, but they have put together these sessions so parents can ask questions about how it works, how you can check the status of your students' grades, how you can go ahead and just learn more about Canvas and help them navigate it as well. Lastly, I am the FACE specialist for both ALA Euclid and Fox Tech. So if you have any smaller Gators at the Euclid campus and you have questions about what's going on there, I can help you with those. And my email is listed, so it's kgarcia10@saisd.net. I'm always available and I'm here to support you all.
And I think we have Mr. Sanchez here, who will give him an opportunity to introduce himself. He will serve as the lead counselor alongside, he is our lead counselor, and the other Mr. Sanchez, Mr. Jose Sanchez, is our 8th grade counselor. Eric?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'll jump in. I'll keep it short. My name is Eric Sanchez. I'm the lead counselor. I think I've reached out to a large number of you over the summer. Thanks for taking the time to communicate with me. I think a couple of you reached out to me over the past couple of days. So thanks for your patience and letting me get back to you. We provide on the next slide a QR code to our counseling page that'll have different ways to contact us. It'll have resources for the community, resources for mental health, a couple of COVID resources as well. So you can definitely utilize that information. I'm going to put in just a quick bit of information because I'm going to be leaving for another meeting in a minute. Some of the schedules that we're looking at right now, I'm getting your emails about making some of those changes and we're taking care of them. I'm asking that we spend that when you get your schedules in the next couple of days, if you see any core classes missing, like an English, math, a science, a social studies, something pretty vital like that to graduation, that you reach out to me and let me know that, hey, I have 2 Englishes or no Englishes or something like that. Outside of that, the information that's forthcoming is going to have links to request schedule changes going into next week. So they won't be done the first day, but they will be done by the end of the week. We want to give you a chance to get to know your teachers on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before we try to explore their options. And I'll turn it back over to whoever was facilitating, Ms. Cash.
Thank you. Now we're going to have an opportunity for our studio teachers. We have representatives from our studio department here today. So I'm going to turn it over to them.
Hey everybody, I'm Galen McQuillan. I am the visual arts teacher here at ALA. Many of you have either met me or have heard of me, and we're also joined here by Amy Stengel and Nico Champion, who are both the theater directors here. Amy, Nico, can you say hi?
Hi everyone, my name is Mr. Champion. I am teaching middle school theater this year.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Stengel and I'm the tech director for the plays this year, and I'll be teaching technical theater classes as well.
So let me tell you a little bit about studios. We'll go to the next slide here. Just like all of your other classes this year, studios are going to be a blend of synchronous, like sitting in front of the Zoom meeting while we are doing remote learning, and learning on your own away from the camera. So there will be some times that we're meeting live and other times that you're doing work on your own, and then turning things into us. If you were with us during the sort of lockdown at the end of last year, much of the practices that we've learned from there, we've built on and improved. Next slide. As an 8th grader, you are going to get to choose from a variety of different studios courses, including Spanish, art, engineering, band, mariachi, theater, dance, and team sports. And we're going to tell you a little bit about each one of those. Throughout this quick overview of all the things that we've got, if you've got any questions, at the end of this whole thing, you'll see a link with our email addresses, and you can send an email to me personally or to Mr. Champion or Ms. Stengel, and we will make sure that we get answers for you about the various courses, since we only represent a small number of the full faculty of the studios. So mariachi is the traditional art form that you're probably familiar with. Fox Tech has a very strong reputation for its world famous mariachi program, and you can choose to be part of that this year if you're interested. Next, we've got band, which is a more traditional marching band and concert band arrangement. So you can choose flute, clarinet, saxophone, French horn, all of the typical things that you would expect to see in a high school marching band. We've got beginner dance. This is a fundamental introduction to various different dance genres. And it's hosted by Miss Dickinson in our fine arts building. And she'll have a remote curriculum while we are still away from school as well, which to me sounds great, because if there's one thing that I absolutely love, it's getting up in front of a camera with strangers and dancing. Sounds super fun, way into it. I'm not being sarcastic at all. I genuinely love that. Near and dear to my heart is art. One of the nice things about taking visual art as an 8th grader is that you receive high school credit for that. So you will, if you're looking to get a high school art credit out of the way, 8th grade is a perfect time to do that. One thing that you need to understand and know, though, is if you are taking art, it is at high school level expectations. So it's a fairly rigorous course with quite a lot of labor that it requires to stay on your daily practice for that. Next, we've got theater, and I'm going to let Mr. Champion talk about that.
Yeah, so our 8th grade theater productions class, one of our big focuses is on the one-act play that happens in the spring. But all throughout the semester, we're going to be learning a bunch of fun things, from games to improv, acting, directing, maybe even some tech in there. So it's the full range of what all you might be able to find in theater happening over the course of the year. And then the other theater class offered to 8th graders is Tech Theater 1 for 8th graders, which is more focused on the technical side of theater. So things like building and painting, writing perhaps, and light, sound, all of the sort of behind the scenes, but still just as fun facets of theater. So that's the poster for our one-act production last year. And you'll have a chance to do some cool things like you can see on the poster, makeup, costumes. You don't see the sets, but that is also part of it. So those are our 2 theater courses.
We've also got engineering this year, which if you were in our live setting would be in our Zorro Astuto studio, formerly known as the Makerspace. But we're going to be doing some interesting remote stuff this year to learn how to do the basics of design and engineering at home. So if you're curious about how to make things with your bare hands, I'll be teaching that course. Very excited about it. Next up, we've got Profe Pe y Profe Lu, who are our Spanish teachers, who are very wonderful. That's them in the tiny little picture in the corner there. Depending on what level you're already at, you can enroll in Spanish 1, 2, or 3. And if you are more advanced than that, then that's something that you can reach out to them about, to talk to them about what your other options are. And that's about it. So at this point, I'd like to just take a quick second. You can post questions in the chat is usually the easiest way to do it. Or if you can use the digital tool to raise your hand. We are happy to address a few quick questions right now. And then after that, we will take questions from you via email. You can either email Mr. Champion, Ms. Stengel, or myself. And we'll get back to you within the week with our answers for those things. So do students get to choose courses for the year? Yes, students do get to choose courses for the year. They are not just automatically placed in a course. If they hadn't had the opportunity to choose their courses yet, then they were probably placed in one already. But if there's any issues where that's not the course that you want for whatever reason, you can reach out to Mr. Sanchez, our counselor, and have schedule change to make sure that you get in the course that you're interested in being in. There is no like specific Studios app. All of the courses for Studios are going to be running through Canvas, just like the rest of our classes. So your student will already be enrolled in a Studios course in the app there. So the information about when you're going to have to be online for live learning is going to come out in just a few minutes here when we talk about schedules. But for Studios classes specifically, it might vary from week to week and from class to class. There can be extended times where students are expected to be working on projects on their own, and face-to-face learning will look more like a by appointment check-in versus a live sit down at a scheduled time class. And there will be other times when we say, yes, we're expecting you to be here, these 2 days a week at this time for live learning. So all that information will be on the Canvas page for your students' course. How many classes can you take? I don't actually know the specific answer to that. Ms. Stengel, do you have any insight on that, or Mr. Champion? Is it still 4?
Right.
When they talk about the schedule, they'll show them where the electives fit in.
Beautiful. And information on how to log into Canvas, I believe that's coming today, correct? All right, so at this point, if you have any additional questions, please shoot us an email and we'll be more than happy to answer that. Or you can also privately send a chat to Mr. Champion, Ms. Stengel, or myself, and because we'll be sticking around for some more of this session, and we'll be happy to respond to you one-on-one as we're able to. Thank you so much. We're going to hand it back over to the 8th grade team now.
Thank you, Galen. So I want to talk to you all a little bit about how your students will see our design principles in action this year as an 8th grader. And so just as a reminder, our ALA design principles, we have 4 of them. So we're committed to deep learning, individuality, flexibility, and connection. And so some ways, and this list is, there are many more things on this list that we did not mention, but some of the things that we'll be doing this year that really integrate these design principles are, we'll have wonder courses where students will be able to choose some passion projects, that they're interested in. We have a program for social emotional learning called Ruler. We will have some interdisciplinary projects, whether that's between US history class and English class, or math and science. Your students would be able to engage in those. We do really believe in student collaboration. So even though we will be in an online setting, at least for a little bit, we are going to do our best to still foster and create opportunities for students to be able to collaborate in an online space. Field experiences, hopefully, we will be able to do those once COVID dies down a little bit. But as of now, field experiences are kind of off the table. We do have C days, which offer a lot of flexibility. We have electives. This year, we're hoping to have students do some job shadowing. And then, of course, you have our student-led conferences, which happen twice a year, in which your student gets to sit down with you in January and at the end of the year to talk about their learning. So assessment is going to look a little bit different this year. Now that your students are in 8th grade, there are some changes to, if you've been at ALA, it's going to look a little bit different than last year. If you're new to ALA, then this will probably look very different. So at ALA, we grade based on, we use standards-based grading. So what that means is that we believe that it is our job to communicate to students and families about where they are in their learning process. And so we assess using a scale of 4, 3, 2, and 1. And so a 4 is if a student has mastered a standard, they know it, they get it, they can do it over and over again. That means they are proficient in that standard. So that would equate to a 4. A 3 is students are pretty much there. They have a lot of proficiency. There might be a few misconceptions or errors, but pretty much they get it. A 2 means that students might need a little more help in progressing to that mastery of that standard. And a 1 is if a student shows really no understanding or very little understanding of that standard. So our job is to help students, whether they're at a 1, 2, 3, to help move them along so we get them to a 4, because ultimately we want students to understand, to master content, to master skills, and to master knowledge. So the implication that has for 8th grade in particular is that we are required, once students get into 8th grade, because they're taking some high school courses, like I said, everyone will be taking the high school US history class, we're required to enter a numerical grade 0 to 100 in the grade book for the state of Texas says that's required for graduation. And so we have broken down the 4-3-2-1 scale into what that would look like in the grade book. So if a student makes a 4 on an assignment in the grade book, that'll be 100. If a student makes a 3, that'll be a 90 in the grade book. If a student makes a 2, that'll be a 65. And if a student makes a 1, that will be a 50. And so in the grade book, when you see a 50 or a 65, typically people think, oh, that's a failing grade. And we try not to think of it like that at ALA because we are thinking about students' progress and where they're at. And no matter where they're at, it doesn't mean they're failing. It just means we need to help push them along in order for them to get to a 3 or get to a 4. And so this is probably the most major change from, especially if you were at ALA last year, you saw the 4-3-2-1, but you did not see the 0 to 100 numerical grades. That will be the main difference this year.
Great. So I'm going to talk a little bit about student daily schedules, and I know there's a lot of questions about individualized schedules. Those will be, Ms. Cash will be talking a little bit more about that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over our general schedule for the Monday through Friday look at class time. So from 8:30 to 8:50, students will join a specific home group. On Monday, we're going to meet all as a team with all of our students so we can talk more about home group and they can get their assigned home group. From 9 to 9:45, this will be their first academic block where they will be attending one of their core classes. From 9:45 to 10:30, they will be moving to their second academic block. And again, these academic blocks take place in a Zoom room. It is a time for them to meet with their teacher and get a lesson, and then they will be working through Canvas for those assignments. From 10:30 to 11:30, students will be able to take a break for lunch and also have some breakout time if they have specific questions for teachers or they need extra help. That's a great opportunity. At 11:30, they will rejoin their third block, so their lead teacher, from 11:30 to 12:15. And then they will attend their final core class from 12:15 to 1 o'clock. Students in 8th grade have 2 elective choices. So from that fantastic display of electives that we just saw, they will have 2 that they will be attending between the hours of 1:25 and 3:35. And then we will be, all of the core teachers will be available from 4 to 5 p.m. each day for office hours where students can get special tutoring, one-on-one time, and also ask any questions that they need. And Ms. Cash, if you wanted to talk a little bit about the individualized schedule.
Sure. So you'll be receiving by Saturday an individual schedule for your student. You'll be able to see which studio classes they will go to on an A day and a B day rotation. And it will also have some reminders as far as their username, their student ID, passwords that they may have forgotten over the course of the summer. So all of that information will be located on that document that you will receive. We'll send that out to both your students' email and the email that we have on record for you as well. So again, you'll receive those schedules via email, and yep, that.
Great.
And there's a studio classes, same as electives. Yeah, so we do call it our elective classes. We refer to them as our studios, as Galen went over in one of the previous slides.
Also, just to clarify, all academic blocks will be in Zoom. So those are live classes in which students and teachers are meeting together. Okay, I think we're ready for the next slide. Great. So those of you who have picked up your supplied bags from school, you will be able to find a paper checklist on the back of our welcome letter that looks like this. If you don't have that, again, this is provided within, embedded here in the slideshow. So you can easily open this up This is not a definitive list of things that students need to be prepared. And again, on Monday when we are all together, we're going to be talking extensively about setting up our academic spaces. But it is important that students have a space in which they are free of distractions and they're able to focus on those lessons with their teachers. As well, making sure that they have charged technology. So just making sure that Sunday night, all of those things get plugged in and that you're ready to go on Monday morning. We also want to make sure that if you are having any issues with internet, Zoom, or Canvas, again, we don't want students or parents to stress about access. So please just reach out to us so we can make sure to get you set up. If students are having issues with Canvas before Monday, not to worry, they're just going to join the Zoom and we're going to get them squared away. As well, they will want to print out or have close at hand a schedule of those classes so that they can reference the times that they're going to need to move around since those are individualized. In your supply bag, you would have received a couple of pencils. Your binder is in there with paper and index dividers. I recommend setting that up before Monday or at least having that ready to go so that you're able to take some important notes and you've got everything put together. Every day in reading class with me, you will be reading something from your personal supply of books. So make sure that you've got some reading material close at hand. And we're going to talk more specifically about what that could be, but just as something to keep in mind, you'll want to have that in your personal space. A calculator is really important for your math class this year, and if you don't have one, there is a digital link there to a calculator. Headphones so that you're focused and able to really hear what your teacher is saying. And then just making sure that you have a clock or some other way to keep track of time so that you're on time for your classes. And again, this is not a definitive list. We're going to be talking more about setting up that environment so that students are feeling really good about their online learning this year. And then lastly, I'm going to be talking a little bit about attendance. We'll wait for that to get up. So students will be able to be counted present under these three possibilities. So their daily participation in Canvas, and Canvas, of course, is the platform that we're using to post assignments and other supplemental materials for students to help them learn. Their daily participation in Zoom, and we're on a Zoom right now, so it's just their participation within the time that they're face-to-face with their teachers, or completion or submission of an assignment through Canvas. So those are three possible ways that students will be noted that they have attended class. If you have more questions about attendance or specific scenarios, please feel free to put that in the chat and we'll get to that at the very end.
Okay, I will be talking about our ALA Zoom expectations for 8th grade. Students need to create a Zoom account using their San Antonio ISD email and make sure that they're always using those credentials when they log in. Students will rename their Zoom profile with first name and last initial. Students and families are not to share or post the Zoom links and/or passwords on social media or share them with anyone. Students should always be muted unless the teacher wants you to speak, and language during meetings is the same you would use in the classroom, professional and appropriate. As well as students, they don't need to be in school uniforms, but just dress appropriately. Okay. Make sure that Zoom backgrounds and profile pictures are not inappropriate, do not contain inappropriate images or content. If the chat feature is utilized during a Zoom session, students are expected to keep all discussions related to classroom instruction. Students and families should not record or take pictures of Zoom meetings. No screenshots, no recording on any devices. Students must have their camera video on when first checking into a Zoom meeting. Families will not log in or participate during Zoom meetings unless invited to do so by the teacher for special events. Families may watch along with their children. All right, and then we just have a one-pager with our Zoom norms and guidelines for reference. So make sure that students are logging in a few minutes early so that they can be on time to class and that they're not missing any information. Limit chatter in the chat box. Limit the chatter dialogue because it's more difficult for the host to see questions. Make sure microphones are muted. Use the chat box for typing in your questions. And then students who make poor choices will be removed from the session. And then just keep in mind that all sessions are recorded, so students need to make good choices. Remove distractions. And then finally, raise your hand if you would like to speak by clicking on the raise hand button.
Okay, so there's been a lot of questions about Canvas and what it is. Canvas is the new platform that the district has purchased for all schools and SAISD to use. So we will be using this instead of Google Classroom and instead of Seesaw. It's just kind of to streamline everything from assignments to grades to communication with students and parents. There is an app that you can download if you want. It's not required because you can access Canvas from any web browser. But if you did want to download it, make sure if you're a student, you download the student version, and if you're a parent, you download the parent version. And here is how you would access Canvas if you were using a web browser. You would go to link.saisd.net and then put in your username and password, which we'll be discussing if you do not know. And then once you're logged into ClassLink, you need to, in the search bar, search for Canvas, and then it is this little red icon in the center, and then you would click on there and it'll take you directly to your Canvas account. So for student username and password, they're the same as last year if you're a returning student. If you're a new student, these are the default instructions. So it's always your first name and then last initial with the 1000 afterward. However, if there is more than one person with the same name and last initial, then it would change to 1001, 1002, etc. If you do not know this, we can look this up for you. So if you want to put your student's first name and last name in the chat, we will give you your student's username by the end of the meeting. And then the password for all students is also the same. It's their first initial capitalized and then their last initial with their student ID. This video here is an introduction to Canvas for the students. We're not going to play it right now because we have given you the slides in the chat so you can watch it at your own time, but it's a great short video that kind of gives the students an overview of all the different navigation tools, what they can do, kind of just getting used to all the different features. And this video is for parents. If parents want to have their own Canvas account, it shows you how to do that. Your student will have to have theirs first because the student is the one that's going to allow them to be an observer. So the parents will be able to see all their assignments, their grades, announcements. They won't be able to do any of the assignments, just be able to see them. So parents, if you want to watch this video at your own time, it will give you step-by-step instructions on how to add that for yourself. And then we included this page on here. And again, remember, we're giving you the slides. So once you access the slides, if you click on any of these images, it'll give you video tutorials for how to use Canvas. Because there are so many features, we want to make sure that you understand all the different tools. And then this is the same thing, except it's in Spanish. Okay, and then to other ways to communicate with us, the best way is always through email. So we listed all our emails here. And then we are also going to be using Remind, which is a feature that you can receive messages through your cell phone, or if you prefer through email. And to sign up, you would send this message at 8th ALA 2021 to the number above, which is 81010. And you can sign up at any time, and then that way you will receive any messages we send out. We usually use these for just broad announcements, upcoming important dates, if there's a project due or maybe a big assessment just to remind students. And it's just easier than email because they'll receive it right to their phone. Another thing you would want to have access to is the ALA calendar. And if you are on the slides, if you just click the link, it'll take you straight to it. If you do not have the slides, you can follow the directions on here. And then the other great tool to have for communication is Miss Beezer's blog. And there's a link there that will take you to it. If you would like to receive it through email, you would just need to email Miss Barber and she will add you to the list.
All right, and then prior to the first day of school, students should go to the class link at link.sisd.net to make sure that they can log into everything. So that'll give them their Canvas link, and then they can type Canvas and then accept your teacher's courses in Canvas. So they'll get a course for math, a course for English. They just need to accept it. If you need help with Canvas, you can call the help desk at this phone number, or you can email them at helpdesk@saisd.net. The district hosting training videos can be found at that link that I shared in the chat. And then there's also a quick little flyer that I'm going to post that gives you all of the contact information for different platforms if you need help. So the flyer and then that website is in the chat. And then what to do on day one. You need to make sure your technology is charged and ready to go. Have your learning environment set up. And then all 8th graders will log into the same Zoom at 8:30. It's the same link and password that you used for this meeting. You need to ask questions and be present. And then we're going to share important information that you need for the rest of the year. And then have fun and enjoy yourself. And we're going to be glad to see you on Monday because we've been kind of bored since March. And then after, if you have more questions after class, you can text or email your teachers.
And Ms. Stengel, I believe you were going to talk about the opening ceremony.
Yes, this flyer went out in Ms. Beezer's email on Sunday, but here's a copy of it, and we're really excited to show you a video from the spring for Raise Your Hand for Texas called Stand Up for Something, which involves a lot of our students singing and playing music. There's other exciting parts of opening ceremony. We'll be celebrating that at 3:30 on Monday. If you're in an elective class, you'll be able to sign out of that elective and into the opening ceremony as a whole family. We hope you're there, and we'd love to gather as a community and celebrate the start of a year in a really fun way. Thank you.
So just a couple of other points of contact. Well, I guess just one other point of contact is our attendance and registrar at ALA at Fox Tech, and that is Ashley Ramirez. So any attendance questions that you have, you can email her. Her email is right here. Again, you will have access to this presentation after, so you can always go into this to grab her email if you aren't writing it down right now. There's also a link here for just the help desk flyer for ALA that might be able to answer some of your questions. And finally, this is our ALA Faculty Wall of Fame. So these are all of the lovely teachers that work at ALA. We are so excited to welcome you guys back. And this was a fun little project we did last week when we were working together on building curriculum for your students.